Yo, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? So I've been missing for a couple days, man. I'm trying to get stuff, taken care of with my other unit that I'm in right now, getting the tags and everything together. Trying to get our word right. But I'm out here riding. If y'all could like, subscribe, share this video. I'm back. Sorry I was missing. Once again, I was trying to get this truck, going, make sure it was road ready before I put a drive in here. Make sure everything was straight with it. Which I finally got everything together. Today, pretty much, I want to talk to y'all, though, today, pretty much about, why I jumped into the lane of being an owner-operator and why I chose this path of being an owner-operator and, going as far as where I'm going right now, like the 2 units so far. Start out pretty much the reason why I jumped into it. I stated in other videos, I ain't like to be really pretty much expandable, like somebody pretty much capping me on telling me how much I'll be able to make and what I can and can't do when I got to be to the truck and, just the typical stuff that you get with a job, with any job, even on this side, they try to, do it to a certain extent, you know what I'm saying? But it was just more so the expandability for me when I went. So, like I stated before, I did 24 months before I purchased my first vehicle my first truck in like 2017. Got my license at 15 and 17, I was buying a truck. So, as of late, I done had this unit now since 23. I pretty much just, was getting everything, deal with it, and, my own tags and, getting every little stuff buttoned up. Some of the things, the truck had been sitting a couple years, getting, all that little stuff, airbags, brakes, all that, typical things you're going to do to any truck when you first, get it. So it was like the expandability, going back to, the story. It was the expandability. I didn't really like being expandable. And, somebody capping me off, like, of making a certain amount. Like my first couple of years in trucking, out the globe, I made, pretty good money coming out the gate, working. I was averaging 80K my first year, no experience coming out of school. So it was like I hit that number the first year, then the second year I followed up with 100. And it was like, that's when like it was leading up to you getting your W-2. Your employer get to talking to you crazy, telling you like certain routes ain't available and now they micromanaging you on the clock and, just all the BS that come with, making it a decent amount, which, if you really willing to work anywhere and you take your job serious, it ain't my fault that you got a bunch of other people around that don't want to really work for real. So, I really didn't like that. I didn't like the idea of that, somebody trying to cap me off. So I'm like, you know what, forget this. It was already in my head to buy a truck. I just took a leap of faith and I jumped. And my first year out here, they were saying like when I jumped out here, I wasn't gonna be able to make no money. My first year out here by myself, I made 160. So I say that to say, if you with an employer or somebody, it's like a motivational thing. If you with an employer or somebody, I'm sorry that it's really dark in here too as well. But if you with an employer or something and it's not where you want to be, don't let nobody tell you, what you can and can't make, what route you can and can't do. Like it shouldn't be all that. If that make any sense, it shouldn't be all that. I just turned on my cab light for y'all so y'all can see me too, because I'm talking in the dark, make me feel like a freak. But like I was saying, like, don't let nobody really tell you and cap you off. If you one of them hungry drivers, you do your job well, you should be paid correctly. You shouldn't be, making it feel like you're expandable. If you with an employer that make you feel like you're expandable, you may want to open up your wallet book and look, for more options. Because it is companies out here, if you want to stay company, that will respect you and your hustle. You know what I'm saying? And won't try to cap you off. Like, it's a lot of small mom and pop companies, them are, some that I like to try to stick with. even out here being owner operator. Like I try to stick with somewhere where there ain't too many units. We got decent workflow, and you know the people really care. Well, it's a give or take thing. If that make any sense. So, you know, like I say, you just take that with a grain of salt. That's why I jumped into it. You know, and now I'm on the second one right now, and I'm really enjoying. I'm really thinking about expanding with many more. I just, you know, keep going with this until I can't go no more. So, like I said, it ain't easy. It's a lot of stuff that come with it, a lot of variables. It's a lot of money, like overhead. Like once you get on this side, like far as maintenance or something. But like I said in every video, it's only a problem if you ain't putting up no money for real. Like if you real good with your budget and you got a goal, you stick by that goal, you can make it work, man. I'm telling you. I started out here, like I said, I made decent money, but I started out here with 20,000. That's all I had. 20,000 in the ring. That's it. And I made it work. Like they said, it wasn't gonna work. You know, I made it work for me and my life. You know, I fit it in, and it supports me and my family. So I just make it work, and I just want to keep expanding, keep growing, keep giving knowledge as I learn things. I want to keep giving more knowledge on this side of the fence because I feel like sometimes people don't be all the way 100% about what they speaking about when it comes to being an owner operator and what it takes. And I'm an open book with it, so you know, it's a question that pertains. You know, if you somebody that's trying to inquire about buying a truck or how about going about buying a truck, I want to try to get that information out to you all. You know, I don't want to withhold it because I'm not gaining anything by withholding it. I'm an open book, so like I said, it's just my little rant on why I became an owner operator and why, you know, try to stay on this side of the fence on things. And why did I do the things that I do and move the way that I move when I'm behind the wheel of my, you know, my trucks or whatever. But once again, if you could like, share, and subscribe to my channel, that would greatly be appreciated. Like I say, dropping videos every day. I'm sorry for the little 3-day gap, 2-day gap, whatever it may be. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get everything together with this unit, try to get a drive off in here, you know, try to get the, you know, the wheels turning on this thing. But I'm back dropping videos every day, daily content. And I'll be back tomorrow with another video for you guys. I love you guys. You guys be safe out there. Keep trucking. BP signing out with another one. I'll be back in the morning. I'm out.